Hello, my dear friends and family. I have now been in the hospital for 24 hours, and I will be here for a while longer. Now, I want to reach out to all of you because there's an important message at the end of this, but I figure I'll give you a bit of a background. About 14 weeks of my pregnancy, so 10 weeks ago, I had my first miscarriage scare. That happened about once a week for, I don't know, until 4 weeks ago. And then it stopped once they found out the cause. There was so many speculations as to what the cause could have been. You know, was it a ectopic pregnancy? Was it previa? Was it I don't know, was I just gonna have a miscarriage? And every time I went to the hospital, they just kind of check me, tell me everything's okay, send me on my merry way. And then a month ago, a doctor, a high-risk doctor, took a good look at me and did an ultrasound, and he found that there was a tear in the wall of my uterus up on the opposing side from where the placenta is, though my placenta does lay low. So that does not help. Once he told me that, everything seemed to go fine. I don't really know. There's nothing that changed. I was on bed rest all that time, and I just continued to do bed rest, and the bleeding stopped for a month until yesterday. Yesterday evening, Taylor and I were getting ready for dinner, and we were on the phone with his brother when I felt something uncomfortable, and I went to check, and I found something this color. We'll put it that way to put it nicely. And I knew that I needed to not panic. But I just said, sorry, we gotta go. We're going to the hospital, and hung up. And I went then to the hospital, which is 40 minutes away. And I thought, dang it, I'm not bleeding anymore. So they're just gonna, give me the bill and tell me everything's fine. So they're getting ready to discharge me when I said something feels funny, and then they found an active bleed. And the next thing I know, there's 6 people around me. One guy's doing an ultrasound on my arm to find a vein, because my veins are so impossible to find. He's touching my neck as if he's going to put an IV in my jugular. Other person's trying to get blood from me. Another person is trying to do all the entries and inputs, and then doctors, doing OB stuff, and trying to figure out, and the next person is doing an ultrasound, trying to figure out what's going on and how the baby is. All I knew is I was scared, and they were throwing around the word C-section. I'm 24 weeks. They told me they wanted to keep me for observation. They said at first that it was just going to be an observation, but if they think it's fine, then they're not going to do anything really. But that, if something could go wrong, they could give me a steroid shots for the baby's lungs, and magnesium for protecting the baby's brain. And I'm thinking, okay, well, they're acting like a if it comes to it sort of thing. So I go ahead and I get I'm making a video, comfortable for the observation. And Taylor walked in. He's lovely husband being here with me.
I got your food.
Yes, he got me some food. Anyways, thought, okay, I gotta do the video. Anyways, so I'm make myself comfortable, expecting that it's just gonna be an observation evening, and then that's it. They come in and they're like, here's the steroid shot, and we're gonna put you on magnesium immediately, and it's gonna feel like fires going through your throat. And oh my gosh, it did. It felt like I was just sick for like 10-20 minutes. I felt like I was just gonna completely pass out. And then I knew something was scary, because if they were resorting to this, then that was not good. So I went, and they changed me to a different room, and they put a catheter in, and I had hooked up to me 2 IVs. I have had been poked I honestly think maybe 12 times because of mistakes, and also lots of blood orders. I had a catheter. I had your regular monitors that you would have on you. I was basically chained up with these wires all around me. And Taylor had to run home because I'd forgotten my medicine, because I didn't think we were going to be staying overnight. And that's a 40-minute drive. So then I'm alone in the hospital. I'm scared and don't know what's going on. And they're talking about how if they give me a C-section, they're going to have to go vertically as opposed to horizontally because of the baby. Because the baby is sideways. And now the baby is breech. They told me to, I wasn't allowed to walk around. I had to stay in bed. They gave me a Benadryl to try to get me to sleep. That didn't work. I felt like I couldn't breathe. But I mean, I obviously was fine. But we heard from the doctor, specialists in the morning, the specialists that came in, and they said that either the placenta is dying, in which case we'd have to take out the baby, or something else is going on. Long story short, of all of today, we did an ultrasound. We figured out that what's happening is the baby is breech, and she apparently has been breech in all of her images. I just wasn't told, because it's kind of expected that a baby would move when she's older or something like that. So what happened is my wound that I had, the tear that I had in my uterus, it shrunk. It shrunk from 15 millimeters to 2 millimeters, which is great. But she's kicking it, and she's kicking the cervix as well. So she's obviously not making it very fun for us. So they have me here for observation for last night, tonight, and potentially tomorrow night. I'm hoping just for tonight again. So that is what's going on. They're telling us what it would be like if we had to deliver right now, and I don't like that. Here comes the important message I mentioned in the beginning. The key thing is I have to keep her in here in this oven for at least 6 more weeks, and ideally full term. Of course, ideally. But in 6 weeks is when the doctor would feel comfortable to deliver if I continue to have these complications. He tells me all this scary stuff about what it would be like to have the baby right now. Scary stuff. And then he tells me the main thing is I'm not allowed to stress. So I want everyone to know that I love them so dearly. And I want to be there for each and every one of you so much. But in these next weeks and months, hopefully, I'm not allowed to stress, even emotionally. If you need anything, just tell me to pray for you, and I will. But I get too heavily invested. And that's, family and friends. And if I stress, I could lose my child. So it's time for everyone to, if there's one thing you could do to help me, is just keep stress out of my eye line. And I promise you, once the baby and I are healthy, I will be here to listen to everything you need. Every single thing. You would have to vent about, rant about, anything. But I can't do it now. And that sucks, because I like doing counseling and being a good friend, but my baby comes first. So, and I have an amazing husband who's been taking an amazing amount of care of me and staying with me here. And yeah, so that's it. I love you all. And I thank you in advance for keeping stress away from me. Bye-bye.